Sadda Haq TV series.
Sadda Haq, My Life My Choice is an Indian television series that started airing from November 25, 2013 on Channel V India. Sadda Haq is about a girl called Sanyukta Agarwal, who challenges the misogynistic world and breaks the stereotypes. The story revolves around how she faces the prejudices, discrimination, pressures, and negativity and comes out shining. At present it is the #1 show on V channel. It's written by Durjoy Datta and Sumrit Shahi.
Plot.
The story is about a girl named Sanyukta who challenges the misogynistic world and fights to break the stereotypes within the society. She is a young girl from Delhi, who believes that nothing is impossible if you put your mind to it. The backdrop of the show is of a prestigious engineering college, FITE, considered as a bastion of male dominance. As she enters the college she faces many problems but she manages to overcome them. Randhir, Param Singh, is a boy who is very intelligent and brilliant and was rank 1 for the entrance exam. On her first day, they both are paired together. Sanyukta causes a blast deliberately in order to not go back home with her father and brother who are furious because she ran away from home in order to achieve her dream to attend FITE. But both Randhir and Sanyukta are blamed for it. This causes enmity to arise between Sanyukta and Randhir. Randhir does everything he can to put Sanyukta into trouble and Sanyukta does everything she could to get out of trouble. Their teacher Vardan Sir, Krip Suri, finds passion in both of the students. Sanyukta befriends her roommate Kaustuki, who switches from IT to mechanical. Meanwhile as Sanyukta and Kaustuki befriend a new boy named Jignesh, who later shifts to the room of Randhir. Sanyukta and Randhir's ongoing fight leads to both of them constantly getting into trouble and having heated arguments with each other. In the meantime, there is a scholarship program conducted by the head of trustees of the college, Renuka Sainil. Once Randhir gets to know this, he backs out from the scholarship and leaves the college as Renuka is none other than his mother whom he hates. This makes Renuka cancel the scholarship program. Sanyukta, wanting the scholarship to continue goes to Vardan Sir requesting to continue the scholarship program, as she needs the reward money to prove her father that she is capable of becoming a mechanical engineer. Vardan Sir refuses, but later agrees to continue the program, if Randhir is back in the YSA scholarship program. Sanyukta, with the help of her friends Kaustuki and Jignesh, find Randhir. The YSA ends with Sanyukta winning the scholarship. Vidushi plans to take revenge from Sanyukta after she loses YSA. Meanwhile Sanyukta sends the prize money to her father who gets furious on Sanyukta. She and Kaustuki become a couple after Kaustuki proposes to him. Sanyukta worries on not finding her ID card. Vidushi sneaks into the dean's room, and places Sanyukta's ID card inside of the packet, containing the question papers. The dean becomes furious at Sanyukta for leaking out the question paper. He forbids her from appearing in the final examination. Sanyukta tries to prove her innocence, but in vain. She rebukes Randhir, on suspecting his involvement in the conspiracy against her. Vardan becomes impressed with Sanyukta for paying Vidushi's college fees. The dean tells Sanyukta that she is not involved in leaking out the question papers, and allows her to appear for the examination. Randhir's father visits FITE. He becomes furious at Sanyukta for bad-mouthing Randhir. Randhir spends some time with his father. Randhir asks his father not to talk about Renuka Sainil, and becomes emotional when he hugs him. Vardan becomes annoyed when the dean discusses with him about the side team of Delhi. Sanyukta learns that Niharika was an ex-captain of the Dream Team. She wishes to learn about the same from Vardan, but in vain. Randhir vents his anger on Sanyukta for disrespecting his father. They fight and Randhir kisses Sanyukta. Sanyukta becomes disappointed about the same. Mr. Agarwal is against Sanyukta's education, and wishes to get her married to Mr. Mittal's son. Sanyukta visits her house. Randhir wishes to spend his holidays with a mechanic, Firoz Kacha. Randhir's father urges him to spend some time with him. On Anju's insistence, Mr. Agarwal shows his concern for Sanyukta. However, Sanyukta worries on learning that he has decided to get her married. Sanyukta is against her marriage with Mr. Mittal's son, to pursue mechanical engineering. She requests Anju not to insist her to get married. However, Anju tries to persuade Sanyukta to obey Mr. Agarwal's decision regarding her marriage. Mr. Agarwal becomes annoyed on seeing Sanyukta sad, and wants her to behave decently in front of Mr. Mittal and his family. Randhir learns that Sanyukta is getting married to Mr. Mittal's son. Mr. Mittal's son, Samir, fails to get his car repaired in a garage. Randhir helps him and his family by dropping them to Mr. Agarwal's house. On Anju's insistence, Sanyukta gets ready to meet Mr. Mittal and his family. Randhir sneaks into Sanyukta's room, to ruin her marriage. Sanyukta becomes shocked on seeing Randhir, and asks him to leave her house. With Mr. Agarwal's permission, Samir interacts with Sanyukta. Sanyukta does not like Samir, and intends to cancel her marriage with him. Sanyukta pretends to be in love with Randhir, in front of him. She tries to make Randhir realize that she does not want to marry Samir. Sanyukta strives to cancel her marriage with Samir, but in vain. Anju and Mr. Agarwal introduce Sanyukta to Mr. Mittal and his family. On Randhir's motivation, Samir decides to marry Sanyukta. Sanyukta becomes tormented with Samir's decision. Mr. Agarwal becomes delighted with Sanyukta for impressing Samir and his family. Yoyo and his friends rag the freshers. Sanyukta is upset as Samir has agreed to marry her. The dean motivates Vardan to prepare his dream team, to compete with the side team of Delhi. Vardan becomes shocked on learning that Sanyukta has not returned to FITE after the vacation. Randhir becomes elated on thinking that Sanyukta is getting married. He feels relaxed on staying away from Sanyukta, and hosts a party for the students. Vardan scolds Randhir on learning about his hatred for Sanyukta. Randhir ponders upon the accusation and is disturbed and in denial. Anju tries to console Sanyukta on seeing her sad. Randhir vents his anger on thinking about Vardan. Vardan wishes to build his dream team. He motivates the students to compete with the side team, and explains the terms and conditions of the dream team contest to them. Vardan selects Randhir, Jignesh, Kaustuki and Vidushi for the contest. Sanyukta returns to FITE, and decides to participate in the dream team contest. She faces difficulty in submitting a consent letter for the contest. Sanyukta tells Kaustuki that Samir has decided to marry her. Vardan plans to take the students on a trip for the Dream Team project. On Yoyo's insistence, Vardan allows him to join the trip. Jignesh becomes violent on seeing Kaustuki and Yoyo together. Kaustuki makes Jignesh realize that she is in love with him. Sanyukta urges Vardan to allow her to go on the project trip without the consent letter, but he refuses. Sanyukta plans to get the consent letter from Ankit. Ankit allows Sanyukta to go on the project trip. Randhir becomes shocked with his decision. Kaustuki becomes annoyed with Sanyukta for paying Vidushi's college fees. Sanyukta becomes emotional on reading Anju's letter. She wishes to promote Mr. Agarwal's company by becoming the captain of the dream team. Anju motivates Sanyukta. Vardan takes the students to a village, and asks them to search for their accommodations. The village head scolds Vardan for bringing female students to the village. Kabir meets the village head, and intends to compete with Vardan's team. Vardan and Kabir's team members introduce themselves to each other. On the insistence of the village head, Sanyukta resigns from the post of captain, and appoints Randhir as the same. Sanyukta decides to build chimneys for the villagers, to relieve them of smoke from their stoves. Randhir decides to design machines for the farmers, for cultivating the land. Vidushi joins Kabir's team and tampers with Sanyukta and Randhir's project. Kabir thanks her for conspiring against the FITE team, and includes her in his team. He assures Vidushi of fulfilling her requirements. On Sanyukta's motivation, the FITE team unites, and succeeds in designing an innovative chimney. Kabir tells Vidushi that their agreement is useless and that he has no place for her in his team. Though at first the village head doesn't appreciate the project done by the FITE team, the women of the village make him realize what it means to them to have a safe life. He names the FITE team as the winners. Kabir, being a sore loser, vows to take revenge on Vardan by any other means possible. The team returns to the FITE campus and receives appreciation from everyone including the dean. Meanwhile, Vardan, inside his cabin, feels content that finally his and Nyarika's dream team is on the track to success. He receives a bouquet with a letter from Kabir telling him that Nyarika had never loved him and also provides proof of this through a letter written by Nyarika a long time ago. Vardan becomes extremely disappointed and destroys anything related to Nyarika in his possession and resigns from the position of the Dream Team mentor, handing it over to PK. The dean confronts him with questions regarding his sudden decision to resign and Vardan tells the dean that he needs to take leave from the college for a few days. This entire conversation is overheard by Sanyukta and Randhir, who rush to the archives room to find out more about Nyarika and Vardan's past. They discover that the files have been burnt, but they also find a diary belonging to Vardan with poems dedicated to Nyarika and they hope to find a clue in it. Also, the captain of the side team, Parth, decides to transfer to FITE to learn from Vardan. Sanyukta and Parth become good friends. Sanyukta asks Parth to read the diary as he knows poetic language. Sanyukta leads the students to bring Vardan back in Dream Team. They urge Vardan to come back to Dream Team. Randhir misbehaves with Parth when he shifts to his room in college hostel. After reading the diary, Parth assures Sanyukta that Vardan has been deceived by Nyarika. Parth, Sanyukta, Randhir suspect about Kabir's conspiracy about Vardan. All students protest for Vardan to stay. In library, they figure out that Vardan just got part of that poem and he thought Nyarika left him. Nyarika has also attached a CD in that book so Vardan can understand its meaning. They played the CD to Vardan and he stopped saying that he was just testing the Dream Team's students. He wanted to see the team's unity and he praises their team unity for finding Nyarika's book. After this it is shown that Sanyukta's dad had a big loss in this factory and later Sanyukta finds about it and promise her mom to find a solution and help his dad, but secretly, as her dad would not accept any help from her. Sanyukta tells Parth about this and Parth advises her to get the blueprints of the factory so that they can see what is the problem in the factory and make a new design of the factory. Sanyukta asks her mother to help her to get the blueprints of the factory by getting into the office, but she, her mother, get the ring file from the office. So to help his mother to get the right blueprints file, Sanyukta goes into her house without telling her dad or brother. She, being in the house, gives her mother instructions to stop his dad from going to the office so that she can copy the blueprints from him. And after almost getting caught, she succeeds in getting the blueprints copies with her mother's help and leave with her blessings. She starts working on the blueprints to find the cause of the loss in the factory with Parth, but now Parth is acting strange with her. He has started running away from her and he is seen making call to someone for some work to get money. Meanwhile Sanyukta is busy with her problem of finding the cause of loss to the factory. She later concludes to make a new model of the factory to stop the wastage of the material used, which is causing the loss in the factory. But a new problem arises. She does not know how to make the new factory model. Next day, Parth, on Sanyukta's call, arrives to help her, but Sanyukta notices that his hands are badly wounded. And on asking, he does not tell her the reason for that and leave from there. Someone again call him for a job to get money, which he agrees. Sanyukta is worried about him, but she also has problem to look after. Sanyukta, now on her own, starts making the factory model. Meanwhile Randhir keeps on insulting her whenever he meets her. The next day, Sanyukta meets Parth in the first aid room where he is again badly wounded, now much more. Sanyukta asks him if to let her what he is hiding from her, but he tells her another excuse and she leaves. Sanyukta almost completes the model. But Randhir sees her making the model and to again insult her makes several mistakes which she had made in the model. Later Sanyukta questioned herself whether she had made a right model or not, as Randhir had made mistakes in it. Later that night, she calls Parth to give her some advice, but she hears the noise of crowd calling Parth's name. She suspects that Parth is in trouble and goes to Randhir and Jji to help her find where Parth is, but Randhir refused to help Parth. Then Sanyukta takes Jji's help to find Parth's location by tracking his phone's GPS. They find his location and Yo being there tells them that the place where Parth's phone is tracked is a criminal's area. Sanyukta asks Randhir, Jji and Yo to help her to find Parth, but Yo advise her not to go there. But she convinced Jji and Yo to come with her, but Randhir leave from there. Sanyukta, Jji and Yo go to the place and Randhir surprisingly comes there and tells Sanyukta to just be quiet. There they find that Parth is having a fight with police officer Rana, who arrested him before in many cases. Parth is fighting to get money, and after getting some serious beating from Rana he manages to win the fight and take the money. Sanyukta, angry with him, asks him that why he is doing all this, to which Parth replies that he is doing this to earn money so that he can pay his college fees. Sanyukta does not question him further and they all leave. Parth is badly wounded, so Sanyukta asks Jji and Randhir to take care of him. Unluckily, Vardan gets to know about all this and next morning questions Randhir and Sanyukta about Parth so has not been coming to the class, to which they are the reasons. He does question them further and leaves. Later, when Parth goes to pay his fee, he gets to know that Vardan has paid his fee. Parth goes to Vardan to tell him to take back his fees as he does not want anyone to help him. He further asks Vardan why he has paid his fees. Vardan gets angry with him and tells him that he knows where Parth have got the money. Vardan tells Parth that he does not Parth to be a bad person as he is not one. He tells him that if he wants to earn money to pay his fees then he has to do a good job. Parth, without saying anything, leaves from there. Sanyukta is still seen confused about the factory model which made. She calls her mother and gets to know that her father is sick and the factory investors are asking him to pay them their money or close the factory. Sanyukta then decides to take help from Randhir to make the factory model again, which is to be made within 3 days' time. She goes to Randhir and Randhir agrees to help her on one condition, which that she have to act like a well-mannered girl, she has to wear proper clothes and has to follow Randhir's every order. Sanyukta, having no choice left, agrees to it. Within these 3 days Sanyukta follows all the orders which Randhir give her, some of them being like making food and tea for him to eat and proposing the first guy she sees coming from the stairs, which happens to be Parth. She proposes Parth and surprisingly Parth also accepts her proposal in front of Randhir. Randhir, being jealous, leaves from there and then Parth tells Sanyukta that he knew Randhir told her to propose him so he was only acting in front of him. Later Parth confront Randhir and tell him about what he did. During late night, Randhir continues to make the model and to tease Sanyukta. Meanwhile Vardan gives the dream team a task by cutting off the electricity of the hostel and tell them to get back the electricity in the hostel within 3 hours, else they will not get electricity for the whole year. To complete the task Randhir leaves the model work and starts to work on the task. He tells the whole to let him work alone. Sanyukta wants Randhir to complete the factory model rather than the task. She tricks him with the help of Parth by acting to work on the factory model. Parth informs him about this and Randhir becomes angry on Sanyukta for this and tell her to step aside, and he continues the model work, leaving the dream team to complete the task on time. With the help of Sanyukta, Param and the dream team completes the task before time and Vardan get impressed by their work. Sanyukta then happily goes back to Randhir to see the progress of the model work and again touches it. Randhir warns her to leave from there or he will destroy it. Sanyukta goes away from it but accidentally slips, due to Randhir, on Randhir, who in turn fell on the medal and destroys it. Sanyukta then starts crying as now she cannot do nothing and her blames Randhir for it, who in turn blames her. Randhir feels guilty, though does not show her, and again starts to make a new model. Sanyukta convinces him to allow her to help as only 6 hours were left to make the model. While working Sanyukta falls asleep, so Randhir keeps her on a bench and continues to work. Later Sanyukta woke in the morning and sees the new factory model completed which Randhir made. She then calls her brother to the collage so that he can take the model and its detail to her father. She tells him to tell her dad that he made the model with his engineer friends, as she does not want her dad to know that she made the model as he would not take her help. Her brother presents the model to his father and his father gets impressed by him and approves the model. He informs Sanyukta about it. Sanyukta feels very happy and goes to Randhir to thank him. He without any reason again scolds him and they both start fighting. Sanyukta being angry leaves. Sanyukta then takes revenge from Randhir. She places polish on the floor and Randhir slips by it and falls on the ground near her feet. All the students laugh on him and Kaustuki, who helped Sanyukta for the revenge, clicks a picture of Randhir. Anger Randhir leaves from there and goes to his room. He gets to know that Sanyukta did all that and he calls someone. Later Sanyukta gives Kaustuki a treat for helping her in the canteen where Randhir arrives and surprisingly he apologizes Sanyukta for his bad behavior. Just then Sanyukta's father arrives and tells her that he knows she had made the factory model. He scolds her badly and leaves. Just Randhir tells her that he had called her father and told him about this and he leaves. Angry Sanyukta then tries to find Randhir. On her way, Parth sees her and tell her to calm down as she is in a very bad mood. Sanyukta breaks into tears and tells Parth what Randhir did. Parth, to calm her, hugs her and holds her for a few seconds, showing a romantic scene. Then both leaves from there. Both Parth and Sanyukta start thinking about hugging each other, which shows some sort of love for each other. Later Parth feels awkward about hugging Sanyukta. Parth realizes about Arpita, her girlfriend who died, and remembers it's her birthday. He gets a guitar as gift from Arpita's family. He is disturbed with that guitar and Sanyukta tries to console him but he ignores her too. After that Vardan gives them a task to complete a very old bike and gives different parts to different Dream Team students and asks to complete it in 2 days' time. Everyone has completed but Parth is left and Vardan in anger reduces their time to complete the task till this evening. Randhir just gives an idea to Sanyukta without knowing and helps Sanyukta to understand Parth's problem and Sanyukta hugs Randhir for every time answering his questions unknowingly. Sanyukta tries to play guitar for Parth but every time he ignores her. Randhir breaks Parth's guitar and later he comes to know about Parth's old girlfriend and he tries to say sorry to Parth and Parth takes his sorry. Later, the time comes to submit the project everyone has completed but there is some problem with the engine, the part of the bike given to Sanyukta. Randhir begs to Vardan for some more time but Vardan doesn't listen. Sanyukta complete the project and submits it before time as still 10 seconds are left to submit the project. Sanyukta gets a call from her brother to come home early as possible. Sanyukta's family is planning about her engagement with the son of Mittals and Sanyukta doesn't know this. Sanyukta and Parth were in the bus. Some men tries to touch Sanyukta but Parth beats them up. On the other hand Randhir says to himself that Sanyukta every time needs his help but this time when she's in such a big problem he's not getting her and he hopes that she's fine. Now Parth and Sanyukta are lost in the forest hoping to find a way out. They came across a diversion of 2 paths. Sanyukta is bitten by a snake and Parth rescues her and drops Sanyukta at her house and leaves for FITE. However, Randhir reaches there and they have a fight. After Sanyukta's engagement is fixed she returns to FITE and her mother orders her to join grooming classes. This creates a tiring schedule in Sanyukta's life. However, Randhir taunts Sanyukta every moment to which she ignores him but Kaustuki talks to Randhir which makes him irritated and he pushes Yo-Yo Singh, who interrupts taking Kaustuki's side, but Randhir apologizes for his behavior and leave. Sanyukta is not able to attend classes on time both in FITE and grooming center. Randhir's feelings are coming out for Sanyukta, when they had a ulok for a minute. Randhir is not able to concentrate in Vardan's class to which Vardan scolds him and asks him difficult questions. Randhir answers them but misses few. As Sanyukta is late for PK Sir's class she meets Randhir who tells her that he has completed her project. Randhir wants to help but tells that he did it as a sign of charity to Sanyukta's insufficiency, to which Sanyukta tears the project that Randhir has made for her.
Cast and characters.
Harshita Gaur as Sanyukta Agarwal. Sanyukta Agarwal is an aspiring mechanical engineer. She comes from a family where the girl is only meant to get married and be a housewife, mother, and a daughter-in-law. She is very smart and inspirational. She fights with her father and elder brother to come to FITE, but eventually does with the help of her mother. After coming to FITE, she meets Kaustaki and who become her friends and support her. Param Singh as Randhir Singh Shekhawat. Randhir Shekhawat is a highly intelligent but arrogant boy who thinks women are inferior to him. He is a topper and is very smart and intelligent. Randhir becomes roommates with Jignesh, shares a somewhat good relationship with him, though at times he acts very rude to him. He shares a very bad relationship with his mother, Renuka Sainal, whom he even refuses to speak to as she was too busy in his childhood to spend time with him. He bickers a lot with Sanyukta and always tries to prove her wrong. Ankit Gupta as Parth Kashyap. Parth is an intelligent and a smart boy who respects women. He is the complete opposite of Randhir. He was an engineering student from FITE's rival college site. Recently, he transferred from site to FITE. He is shown to be a positive character who respects women, especially Sanyukta. He is a well-behaved and chivalrous guy. Arpita is his love interest, though she had died. Prince Dua as Yo-Yo Shah Singh. Yo-Yo Shah Singh is a college senior. He is in college since last 6 years and he is in love with Kaustaki. Aradhana Uppal as Renuka Sainal. Renuka Sainal as Randhir's mom. She has ignored him in his childhood and Randhir refuses to talk to her. She is sponsoring YSA for Randhir. Homring as Kaustaki Sherpa. She is Sanyukta's roommate, classmate and best friend. She always supports Sanyukta and has a good bond with her. She has a liking towards Jignesh and is waiting for him to propose her. Yo-Yo has a huge crush on her. Now Kaustaki proposed Jiggy and they are a couple. Chirag Desai is Jignesh/Jiggy. Jignesh or Jiggy is a classmate. He is a good friend of Sanyukta and he helped her whenever needed. Nisha Nayak as Vidushi. Vidushi is a scholarship student. She is very cunning and tends to make her way through sympathy. She wants to friends with Randhir as he is a topper but fails. She hates Sanyukta. She puts on a very innocent attitude outside but is very cunning from inside. She does not mind getting what she wants through cheating. KRIP Surya's Professor Vardan Soyavanshi. He is a professor at FITE. He has got a past which he does not want other people to know about. His biggest rival is Kabir and this rivalry began since Vardan took away Nyarika, who was Kabir's love interest. Zohaib Siddiqui is Kabir. He is a professor at site. Vardan and Kabir confront each other at the village where they come for a competition. Kabir and Vardan challenge each other for the contest. Vardan and Kabir seem to have some bitter past related to each other about a girl Nyarika.
Writers.
The show is being written by national best-selling novelists Durjoy Datta and Sumrit Shahi. It has been noted for its unpredictable plot and fresh story.
Main cast.